everybody, it's Kelsee Briana J, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about two new palettes from Sydney Grace, and these palettes are called the Enduring Love palettes. So these are launching on January 13th at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and these palettes are going to retail for $52 each. So I'm super hyped about this launch because it is unlike anything else that I've ever seen in the beauty community thus far, because this is the same palette, but there's a light version and there's a deep version. Mind blown. This idea is so genius because it is going to allow everybody to use this palette. So the lighter version of the palette has lighter colors, obviously, and the deeper version has deeper colors, but it's the same palette. So let me open it up and show you guys. I'm so excited, like I said, because I've not seen anybody do this before. I've thought about this so many times because there's been so many instances where a palette would have a beautiful color story, but the actual colors don't work for my complexion. And I'm sure many of you all feel the same way. And so Sydney Grace said, hold on, I have a solution to that problem. So they fixed it and they gave us the same palette twice. And so it's going to work for a broader scope of people. Oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I love that. I love this entire launch. I have some preliminary details that they sent me because Sydney Grace was kind enough to send me these palettes a little bit before time to be able to share with you guys. So it says, at Sydney Grace, we are so excited to share our newest palette, Enduring Love, with you. From the romantic design on the outside to the stories behind each shade name to the versatile shades, we are sure you will fall in love with this palette like we have. This cool toned palette is so versatile with soft neutrals and deeper complementary colors that it is easy to create many different looks for a wide range of skin tones. To further make this palette appeal to a larger range of skin tones, we have created two versions of this palette. One for fairer skin tones and one for medium to deep skin tones. It will be a permanent addition to our Sydney Grace line. We are excited to launch this palette. We hope you enjoy creating lots of looks with it in 2020. Here's what the palette looks like, and it comes in a tin case. Both of them do. And on the front of the palette it says Enduring Love. So this palette is magnetized and it does have a mirror when you open it up. So here's what the insides of the palettes look like. Here's the light version in my left hand and here's the deep version in my right hand. So as you all can see, the palettes are very similar as they are intended to be, but the deeper one has deeper colors and the lighter one has lighter colors. Because I like doing stuff like this, on one eye I used the light palette and on the other eye I used the deep palette. Can you all tell the difference? But before I jump into that, let me go ahead and insert swatches. I took photos of the swatches, and then following that, I will show you guys how to create this eye look. If you are interested in any of the makeup details that I have on my face, everything is listed down in the description box. And then I will tell you all my final thoughts about these palettes at the end. So I hope that you all enjoy, and I will talk to you all shortly.
Perfect.
So I'm first going to go into the deeper palette and take the color Juliet with a blending brush. This is a Rephr PL7A brush. And I am going to blend this on my right eye as my transition color, so back and forth. And I am just going to buff this color out. And this color is going to help us blend the rest of the colors on our lid. I'm just going to build this color up just a bit, but I'm okay with it being light because it is a transition color. So I'm just going in buffing motions and applying this color. And that's it. Taking the exact same brush, but a clean one, I'm going to take Juliet from the Lights palette and do the exact same thing, but I just want to show you guys the difference of the color on the lid. So I'm just going back and forth with this color. Pretty. I'm making sure to keep my brushes separate, that way I don't mix them. Back into the deeper palette, and I'm going to take the color Cherish. And I'm moving down and applying this color directly in the crease. And I'm not going to blend it up too much to cover up the transition color, but I'm just going right on the edge of the transition color, right where it meets in the crease. And I'm going in buffing motions as well as in back and forth motions to deposit this color. And I didn't pick up a lot, just a little bit. I'm going to dip into it just a little bit more just to further intensify this color. But it's really pretty and cool toned. Okay. Same brush, and I'm taking Cherish with the lighter palette. And then I'm doing the same motion right in the crease. So this color is noticeably lighter. It's just going on with a little bit less intensity on my complexion. But of course, that is the point, because if you have a lighter complexion, then you can reach for this one and it will give you the intensity that the darker one did for me. And you guys can see the difference. Deeper palette, and I'm taking Robert. With Robert, I'm going to take that and pat it on the outer corner and then blend it up. And again, this one is the deeper palette's eye. So I'm focusing this color right on the outer corner. And then I'm taking the tip and then blending it up in the crease. Now I'm switching to the lighter one and doing the same thing. Taking Robert, let's put that on the outer corner over here. Pat it on the lid and then bring it up and meet it in the crease. This Robert is pretty dark too. I just don't think it's as dark as the Robert in the deeper palette, because of course the deeper one is deeper. But it's giving me intensity and I like that. So both of the Roberts gave me a little bit more boldness to the eye look, but of course this Robert is lighter, this Robert is a little bit more rich, but both of them are giving me the effect that I want, so I like that. I felt like the look was going to look just totally different with the crease color, the way that was going, but then when I added Robert, it looks more balanced now. So of course I'm about to try to switch it up again. I have my flat shader brushes. I have 2 of them. So I'm going to dip back into the deeper palette first. And I'm going to take Romeo. This is pretty pigmented, so I'm going to tap it off just a little bit. And I'm going to take that right underneath my brow. This is going to be my underbrow highlight. And I'm just lightly tapping this there just to give a little bit of a glowiness to my brow. That color is really pretty and it has a nice peachy iridescence to it. Now I'm taking a clean 239 and the color Romeo from the lighter palette, which is a lot lighter just based on how it looks in the pan. I picked up a little bit. I'm going to tap it off a little bit on my hand just so it's not super opaque. And then I'm going to do the same exact thing. Oh, I'm going to tap it a little bit more because this is pretty light, but it's giving me a nice underbrow highlight. So this one is a little bit more icy, a little bit more pink, and this one is a little bit more peach and a little bit more golden. Okay. Deeper palette, and I'm going to take the color John. Tap that on the inner corner. Just a little pop. Same brush, other palette, John. Even though I think that these are the same color. I just want to keep everything even though. Same brush in the color Devotion from the deeper palette. And I am taking this all across the lid. I actually am going to keep a little sliver right here open, but basically I just want to tap this color on and build up its intensity. I'm going back in with my blending brush just because I want everything to be very blended and beautiful. And then I'm going to go back with that color one more time just to make sure that that intensity is still there. Same thing with the lighter palette, going in with the Devotion. Pop that on. And I'm using packing motions to apply this color. This looks so pretty so far, and I think that my eyes still look pretty even, and I'm happy about that. Same brush, back into the deeper palette, and I'm taking Albert, and I'm tapping that right on the edge, and then blending it up. Making sure to tap it on the edge of the outer corner. Make sure to tap it on the edge of the lid color and right on the edge where the crease color is. Repeat that step with the lighter palette. I'm going to go ahead and add liner and lashes, and I'll be right back and we can do the lower lash line together. So the majority of my makeup is finished. If you want to know what I have on, look down in the description box and I will let you guys know every single thing that is on my face. Now let's get back into these palettes and finish off the lower lash line. So I'm hopping back into the deeper palette and I have a pencil brush. I'm going to pop back into John and re-intensify that inner corner. And then take it around the lower inner corner. Same thing with John. Let's take it on the inner corner with the lighter palette on the left side. On the rest of the lower lash line, I want to go in with Briana and I'm in the deeper palette. So I'm just taking that all the way across. And same thing with the lighter palette. Alright guys, so here's the finished look and I love the way that it turned out. As you all can see, my eye look is very beautiful and it's subtly different, which I love and appreciate. As you know, I use the lighter palette on the left side and the deeper palette on the right side. And there's just subtle variations of the color intensity on my eyes, which is good because that means that everybody is going to be able to enjoy this palette. And depending on what your skin tone is, you can choose either the lighter palette or the deeper palette and you'll be able to create similar eye looks, but the intensity of the pigmentation is going to be just a little bit different. And I think this idea is super genius. Oh my gosh, my mind is blown and I've been wanting something like this for such a long time and I'm so happy that they were the ones to bring it to the table because Sydney Grace is an amazing brand. I love the formulation of the eyeshadows in these palettes. I think that they are very smooth. The mattes blended out very beautifully, very silky. The shimmer eyeshadows gave a beautiful dazzle and they're very intense and they're going to give you that nice shiny effect without having to dip into a glitter glue or to spray your brush to amp up the intensity. The intensity is there and I love this idea. I love this color story. It's something very different. Cool tones are on the rise and I love the way that the cool tones were presented in this palette and I especially love the fact that there's a light version and a deeper version and that way everybody can enjoy this palette. So I'm feeling it. I love the way that my eyes look. I don't think that you need to have both. Like I said, I think that you should just get the one that's best suited for your complexion. For me as a medium complected individual, I can go for either one. I can use the lighter one if I wanted the colors to be just a little bit lighter and I can use the deeper one if I wanted the colors to be a little bit more intense. It's all going to come down to your makeup preferences. Are you a person who prefers a lighter application of makeup in your my complexion? If that's the case, go with this one. And if you're a person who likes more intense, more bold eye looks, go with the deeper one. But also if you're my complexion and you're going back and forth between which one to get, I would get the deeper one because you can always go in with the lighter hands and achieve the same effect as you would get with the lighter one because it's going to be a little bit more challenging if you're my complexion and you get the lighter one and you want to further intensify it because these colors are not going to deepen up that much on our complexions. But if you're MAC NC35 and lighter, I would definitely stick with the lighter one, and if you're a my complexion or about MAC NC45 and deeper, I would go with the deeper one. Thank you again so much to Sydney Grace for sending me over these palettes. You know I always appreciate you. I love these palettes. Let me know what you all think about this idea down in the comment section, and I bet you other companies are going to take note of this concept and take off with it because neutral is not one size fits all. Sydney Grace doing this is so commendable because it's taking another step towards total inclusivity because we have to start thinking outside of the realm of just foundations and concealers and complexion products and think about being inclusive in all aspects of makeup, and that is what Sydney Grace did because they've taken a palette that most deeper complexions would not typically be able to wear with just the lighter one and made it to where this will work for a broader amount of individuals. So I love them for that. I look forward to reading what you guys think about it down in the comment section, and I will check you all in my very next video, which will be super soon. Smooches. Bye.